As a six-figure seller on Etsy, one of the questions that I get all the time is, how did you do it? Can I do it? Help me understand what the secret is. And so for today's video, I want to walk through the 8 strategies that I would use if I were starting a brand new print-on-demand Etsy shop today. And in fact, these are the strategies that I teach in my free course right here on YouTube in my playlist. So if you want to check out the longer version of that, you'll definitely find all of these strategies tucked within that course. But for today, I want to give you just a quick snapshot of what those 8 strategies are and how I think you can implement them today to start growing your Etsy print-on-demand shop faster and give it the greatest chance for success. In case we haven't met yet, hey there friend, my name is Mandy. I'm a busy Midwest boy mama, former HR director turned full-time handmade small business entrepreneur, and builder of Etsy print-on-demand shops that I scaled quickly to 6 figures in just 10 months, all while not having to touch a single product or ship anything out to a customer myself. I'm obsessed with sharing knowledge that simplifies the Etsy print-on-demand process so that anyone can be their own 6-figure product boss with freedom from fulfillment. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on any of my free content that is structured to help support you on your print-on-demand journey. The very first thing on my list is having a niche strategy. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to get super specific with a niche, but you need to have a strategy of some kind for your shop. Whether you want a general store that has several smaller niches within your sections, or you want to have more of a broad niche shop, say it's professions, and then each of your sections and designs are devoted to a sub-niche within that grouping, you need to have a strategy. And with that, you need to put in some time doing research to find niches that are going to give you the best chance of success. Meaning they are profitable niches, they're getting searched regularly on Etsy, and the competition isn't too crazy and off the charts. Going into Etsy print on demand and thinking you can just throw spaghetti at a wall and hope that something will stick is not a strategy. You need to go into this having done some research and having put some thought and time into what you want to be able to sell. Think about hobbies, think about professions, think about pet ownership, think about things that you or someone in your life are passionate about or get excited about. Think about travel destinations. There are all sorts of directions that you can go with all sorts of niches, but put some time into it, make a plan, have a strategy. This will help you in the long run, both in coming up with designs as well as coming up with keywords and doing deeper research, again, to give your shop the best chance for success. Number 2, pick a print provider, pick a product, and stick with it in the beginning. You don't want to overcomplicate the process by starting out with a bunch of different providers that you're trying to navigate and integrate your shop with. And likewise, it's hard to get traction when you're trying to come out of the gate with a ton of different product types at the same time, because they all take different types of design styles, they all take different types of descriptions and keywords. Keep it simple. That is the name of my strategy in my course is Simply Pod, and there is a reason for that. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. I personally recommend using Printify as my print provider because they have a network of printers within that. And then within Printify, start with just t-shirts, start with just sweatshirts. I personally recommend starting with sweatshirts if you're going the apparel route. Number 1, because they're not as oversaturated as t-shirts, and number 2, they have a higher chance of higher profit margin. So again, pick a provider, pick a product type, and stick with that in the beginning. Get comfortable with the process, and then as you have designs selling along the way, you can add them to new products down the road as you become more comfortable with the design process and the product fulfillment process within your provider. Trying to do all of the products for all of the people is just going to slow you down. Number 3 is a big one, especially for scaling fast, and that is working in batches. So on my channel, in my courses, I teach batching designs. So making several designs all at once, because then you can batch those designs, batch your mock-ups for those designs, batch getting them into your print provider, and then a batch getting those finalized as listings in Etsy. Working in batches like that allowed me to do 20 and 30 listings or more a day as I was just getting started, and it makes the process so much faster. Again, especially if you've come into this having done some research and having a plan in mind, sit down, spend an hour or two batching those out, and then you can get more listings up and running a lot faster when you're doing it all at once versus having to flip back and forth between your designs, between your print provider, between Etsy. Being able to have all of that in batches and not having to jump around allows you to be so much more efficient in the process and allows you to, again, scale faster, because your goal in scaling is trying to get to 100 listings is what I recommend. So have that be your goal and work on scaling, because if you can just knock out even a few designs a day using that, you'll get to 100 listings in less than a month. It's really no time flat when you actually go in with a plan and have an efficient process to get there. Number 4 is a scary one for most people, but hear me out. So number 4 on my list is turning on ads. As you grow your shop, and as long as you're doing your research and you're creating quality designs and listings, turn on your ads, because this will give you data a lot faster than sitting around and waiting for your listings to organically start coming up in searches. That will happen too, but again, if we're talking about scaling fast and moving the needle faster in your shop, getting eyeballs on your listing, getting those views, having people start to favorite and engage with your listings will start to give you clues as to what's working and what's catching people's attention. So then again, as we're talking about research and batching more designs, as you start to see what people are favoriting, so you're starting to see what's getting the most views and click-throughs and eventually sales, again, that data and that information is going to be so useful as you're continuing to grow your shop. And again, make sure you're doing research in this process to understand what's going to work best, and then use the data from those ads to help you make more informed decisions. When I started a shop, I let those ads run for a good 30 to 45 days at least on all of the listings that I was added. And then from there, I was diving into the analytics that I got from those ads to see what was working well and if I needed to then change. Don't kick up an ad and then try and change it a week or two later. That's not enough data for you. Give it a little time to run if you can, and then again, use that data to make good informed decisions about the direction that you continue to go in growing your shop. I will tell you right now, more than 60% of my orders in my shop when I first started out came from ad spend. And this was true again when I created the new shop that I have devoted for this YouTube channel as a training ground to be able to show you. If you head to the traffic module in my course playlist, module number 7, head to that one and you'll see I give a screenshot. More than 60% of sales from this new shop came from ads. Those are sales that I would not have had if I didn't have those ads turned on. And then the data that I got from that, it shows me keywords on how people found that listing, which keywords were resulting in people clicking on and then subsequently buying those products. The data that you get from that, and then the organic ranking that you get from those sales and subsequent reviews, is how you start to move the needle and how you start to rank faster within Etsy. And that faster ranking means to faster growth. So as scary as ads are, and as much as you will hear others say not to use it, I have personally found that when used strategically, they can really work towards your advantage as a new shop to understand what's working well and the direction that you can continue to use to grow your shop fast. Number 5 on my list of strategies is to treat your shop like a business. If you want it to be successful, if you want to see faster growth and give your shop the best chance of success, you need to be willing to make small investments in order to make that happen. So that's things like buying the nicer mock-ups. We don't need to go overboard, but finding nicer mock-ups to use for your products. That also means buying that small monthly subscription price for your research platform, whether that's erank.com, which is only $5.99 a month for the basic plan, or whether it's one of the other platforms that are out there. Having that small upfront investment so that you can do proper research is going to be so beneficial in helping you get set out on the right foot, along with, again, making small investments in mock-ups and little things like that that are going to make a big difference in the long run for your shop's success. Number 6 is all about finances. So track your income and expenses from day one for your shop so that you can understand and monitor the financial health of your business as you're getting started. This also means making sure that you're using a profit calculator for your product so that your pricing strategy will allow you to be profitable in the long run. If you're doing all of this work and making sales only to realize that you haven't priced your products properly and you haven't understood the costs that go into it, and so therefore you're losing money, that's not success. So we want to start out on the right foot and have the right tools in place to make sure that we can monitor the financial health of our shop as a business. I have a spreadsheet as part of my Patreon Rockstar membership. If something like that would be helpful for you to have all of it in one place. It does income, it does expenses, it does a yearly sum total so that you can monitor it on an annual basis. And it's also got the product tracking and profit calculator to make sure you're actually making money on all of your products, both with ads as well as the fees that go into it. So that is available as part of my Patreon, which is linked in the description. But even if you don't use that, just find something that works for you. I know spreadsheets don't work for everyone, so whether that's having a small QuickBooks subscription or something else like that, find a way to track your income, expenses, and your profit per product so that you can continue to monitor that on an ongoing basis. Number 7 is a big one that I see print-on-demand sellers starting out missing all the time, and that is understanding the products that you're actually selling. So with print-on-demand, are you selling t-shirts and sweatshirts that are made with the direct-to-garment process? Are you selling all over prints or totes that are using sublimation? Do you even know the difference between those? These are important things to understand in the print-on-demand business. And as you're selling these products, you need to become the expert and understand what you're selling to your customer so that you can set expectations, so that when they have questions, you can answer them quickly, and so that if a problem comes up, you know what's normal or not normal for these types of products that you're selling. So one of the best ways to do this is to order samples. Don't miss out on this opportunity to understand what your products will look like for the customers when they receive them. You don't need to order samples of every single design that you make, but if you've chosen sweatshirts as your product to sell, order 1 or 2 samples of sweatshirts. Order a light sweatshirt and a dark sweatshirt so that you can see the differences in the design, in the printing style. If you're selling tote bags or blankets, order one of those and understand what they look like. Do you even like them as a product? Would you like them as a buyer? And if not, maybe you need to pivot and think of something else. But the only way to know this and understand what you're selling and be able to set those expectations for your customers is by ordering samples and becoming familiar with the actual products that you're selling. And number 8 is be comfortable with failing at first. It is okay when you are just starting out to not understand everything. This is a learning process, and you'll figure out and evolve a lot of it as you go, especially when it comes to designing or figuring out products, figuring out the return process. Those are all valid questions, and those are all valid things that will occur and that you might have bumps along the way. That is a normal part of any new business, and it's okay if you don't get it right at first. No one is an expert at their craft when they first start out. It will evolve as a business for you over time as you continue to learn and grow. And that is a normal part of the evolution. I want you to understand that you can't compare your day 1 or your day 5 or even your day 10 to somebody else's day 365, because they will not look the same, and their level of success at day 365 will not be yours at day 1 or day 10, nor should they be. That takes time and effort and diligence when it comes to engaging with your shop and growing your shop and learning things that work and don't work. That's why it's important for you to be consistent, to not give up, keep going, keep learning, and figure out what works best for you and your shop. But I will tell you that giving up at the first sign of trouble, or the first time you stumble, or the first time you get a negative review, giving up after that will not lead to success. Those are natural parts of the process, and it's okay when they happen. You just need to keep pushing through and understand how to navigate successfully through those moments and through those roadblocks. Don't let them slow you down. Don't let them move you to a place of wanting to give up, because I know you can do it. I did it. I am no one special. It just takes time and effort and a willingness to keep going through, even when you feel like you're failing. So that's it, my friends. Those are my 8 strategies if I were starting over today, and how I would grow fast as an Etsy print-on-demand shop. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you want to hear any more about any of these, be sure to leave your questions in the comments. I do try to make sure I answer all of them. And also make sure you're checking out my full-length free course that's part of the playlist on this channel. Look for Mastering Etsy Print on Demand. It's 9 modules that will guide you through all of the strategies and ins and outs of running a successful Etsy print-on-demand business. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming content, and I'll see you next time. If you're looking for more helpful ways to continue the work and stay connected, I invite you to join me over on Patreon, where I provide a membership to get exclusive access to my Google Drive with all sorts of wonderful tools and resources that I've created and continue adding to every month. It's also a place to join conversations as I think about future content and how I can serve you with the most amount of value. I also hope that you'll smash that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on all of the exciting upcoming content that I've got planned for this channel. And finally, I invite you to check out my brand new website where you can subscribe to my own email list, follow along on new blog content that I will be building, and access other freebies that I have available on there to support you on your journey. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, stay consistent and keep going. I am cheering you on, my friend.